together on this Thursday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on Arc Rochester. We have everyone all together because it's time for this week's edition of From the Ground Up.
Yes, our resident garden guy, Mark McLean, has another episode for us. And Mark, today we are talking mulch, yes?
Yeah, important kind of early season, clean out the beds, see what's there, see what you didn't do last year and now you have to get to this year. So mulching is one of those important things, and there's different ways that you can go about it, different ways in the landscape that you can make things look beautiful too. It's not all about just weed control, weed prevention, but we stopped out at the Garden Factory to talk to the experts out there about the best ways that you can put the mulch down and make everything look pretty.
Well, here we are at the Garden Factory. It's mulch time, and I've got Nick Mostarda, the nursery manager here. Nick, we are talking all things mulch today. What's the advantages of using mulch like that in our garden beds?
Moisture retention, number one. Number two would be weed prevention. Two of the biggest reasons for using mulch, and also the aesthetic look of the front of the landscape as well. Okay,
so if we get periods of drought and you've got enough mulch down, so that's actually going to help the plants. It's going to keep the moisture in the soil?
Absolutely. It'll definitely help. You're still going to have to water, especially if you go into a drought, but it'll definitely help keep things moist.
Okay, and you talked about dyes versus natural mulch. Is there any advantage, or does one last longer in terms of the color?
Yeah, the dyed mulches definitely hold on longer, especially as you get through summertime. The natural will do well, but it may need a touch up midsummer.
Okay.
Just to keep it that natural color.
And remind people how much mulch we need if it's a new garden bed versus if you're just replacing it, putting it on an old garden bed.
Yeah, new garden beds typically get about 3 inches thick on the mulch. And if you measure out your areas right on our website, you can go on and type in your dimensions. It'll tell you exactly how much you need.
And for everybody that doesn't want the bulk mulch, it looks like you guys have just about all those varieties in bags as well?
Yeah, everything we do in bulk mulch, we also do in bag mulch. On top of, there's also cedar mulch that we do, which is a little bit of a softer wood. There's also a pine bark mulch, okay, which will give somebody an option of having something with a little bit bigger pieces to it. So yeah, it's a little bit of something for everybody.
Is there any more of these mulches that are susceptible to the wind or anything else that we're not thinking of?
I would probably stick with a hardwood if you're worried about the wind kind of blowing it around. It's a little bit heavier. The dye also helps with it being quite a bit heavier. Cedar mulch is pretty light. So it'll be a little bit more apt to blow around.
Okay, and for somebody that wants something longer lasting, instead of the mulch, you talked about the stone.
Yep.
The advantage with stone is?
A little bit less maintenance. Once it's down, it's there to stay. Typically, it's not an every year process with stone. You kind of get it down, and you may have to touch it up a little bit here and there, but that's really pretty much it.
Well, we saw how the mulching is very effective in controlling weeds in garden beds. And now we're inside the greenhouse where some of the organic and some of the chemical-based weed controls are. Nick, we've got plenty of stuff here. Let's start with the organic materials. I'll hand you this one here. What do we have here in terms of product?
So this is a lawn weed brew from Bonide.
Okay.
It's organic based. It's organic through and through. It's a safe way for weed prevention and to kill weeds. It's a real safe product for anybody to use.
Okay. Is it safe for the pets too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very, very good. And we also have other products like more organic, so it's talking about also feeding the lawns. Is that right? So like this?
That's an organic way to feed.
Okay.
There's no chemical in it. It's all organic based.
Okay, and then down here, this Fairfly products that we have down here below us, this weed control.
Yep.
What goes into that?
So we sell it actually in a 4-step program. So it would have everything you need for the entire year. Okay. So you could start with crabgrass preventer. You go to a weed and feed, and go on from there.
So it kind of leaves you at a place where, do we do this organically, or do we go another avenue? And I always strive for the organic. If I'm going to try, I'm going to try that way every time. And one of the best ways to prevent weeds, I call it the Armstrong method. If your arm is strong enough to pull the weeds out, okay, you've got. And some of the stuff is in salads. Look at dandelion leaves, right? We need the pollinators, the bees get out there. So everybody has. I just want to stress, working in that industry for 10 years, everybody has a different opinion, okay? Everybody has a different way to get the job done at the end of the day. The last thing you want to see in Sonnenberg Garden or in the third fairway at Oak Hill is a big dandelion sitting in the middle of it. So there's places for these things, and there's places where we don't want to see these types of things. So when it comes to mulch, moisture control, weed control, make sure you put down at least, if it's a new bed, make sure you put down at least 3 inches. If you're doing the other avenue there, rocks and whatever in a hardscape, make sure you put down some weed fabric underneath that, so it'll help prevent any weeds from coming on through.
It's so interesting. I mean, just not knowing anything at all about gardening, I'm like enamored by it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had no idea that there were so many different kinds of mulch and all the different options. And
Yeah.
I usually just go by how pretty it is.
I think they have like 20 different kinds there. And other things to consider, if you're mowing around it, you probably don't want to go with a lighter weight one. You probably want to go with something heavier, especially if you've got a sturdy lawnmower that's going on by. In some of those spots, you may want to go with stone. If we get into periods of drought, you definitely want a thick mulch cover out there for sure.
And when it comes to like weeds, for example, I saw there was organic options.
Yeah.
Do people tend to gravitate towards those?
I think a lot of people look for those first. Things to consider there. Basically, everything in gardening is time. You're paying for time. So if you sometimes you go the organic route, things take a little more time sometimes. So it's a factor to consider. But one way or another, there's a way to get it done. Yeah.
All right. Good stuff, Mark.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. And this is a reoccurring segment every Thursday.
It is.
Yes?
Next week we're going to be talking about veggies. We have our own garden. We're going to have the install of that garden on the air, and hopefully we'll get the veggies in. And then I think after that we're towards Memorial Day. It's going to be annuals, perennials. What's the difference? What should I put in my garden? What's my favorite? That kind of thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, Mark. We
Yep.
appreciate it.
Hey, stick around. We have so much more to come here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're bringing you this morning's reporter recap.
Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. We're back after this.